how to actually decode a particular product to see if it ticks all the boxes here. They should be the least acutely or chronically toxic product available for the job. They should be target specific and selective. That's critical. That's absolutely critical. Because if they're not target specific and selective, there's going to be casualties, collateral damages. They've got to be immobile. You don't want them drifting away in the wind if they're dust, or vaporising and being breathed in by you or your pets or your kids. Non-volatile nor wind or water dispersal. You want them to stay where they're put. You don't want them to be residual for 10 years. There's a product, bifenthrin, Biflex, chlorpyrifos. The old ones, DDT, deodorant, heptachlor. Decades sometimes, decades. And then there's the health effects. Now you want a biodegradability component there. You want them to break down into background naturally occurring products very, very quickly with low or non-toxic breakdown or degradation pathways. There are chemicals out there, and there's one that I put into the same category perhaps as a new DDT, is a chemical called fipronil. Sold as termidor, termites, ants, various things. Fipronil is scary. It's fairly new. It has, across, say, one particular genus of insects, there may be, say, 100 species. You'll get toxic variability, tenfold difference between a lot of the species in the same genus from the active ingredient, fipronil. Now, then, the active ingredient, fipronil, when it's in the environment, it breaks down, and some of the first level breakdown products of fipronil in the environment under oxidation or microbial breakdown chemistry are up to 20 times more acutely toxic than the original active ingredient. And there are long-term, there are chronic tox studies starting to show that fipronil, the active ingredient, fipronil, it's got implications for cancer promotion and cancer causing things in laboratory animals. And it's very, 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 very acutely toxic in extremely low doses. Yet it's being pushed for liquid termite barrier treatment, for ant control, and blah, blah, blah. If you use it in a totally target-specific bait, if that's the only thing that works, and that it was used to get rid of Argentine ants in Perth Zoo, but in target-specific, really, really, really safe, purpose-designed bait stations, it cleaned out the Argentine ant populations with, I think, 7 of these over the whole Perth Zoo site in a year, with a 0.1%, that's 1 part per thousand, fipronil liquid sugary bait, and the bait matrix was really, really specifically designed for Argentine ants. That's how potent fipronil is. That's just the active ingredient, fipronil. So,
what did you say the other name for it?
Its product name is termidor, and they'll probably come after me to sue me now. They went after a company who was selling a termite baiting system who put out this data to their clients. VASF came after that company with lawyers. So these are what the multinational chemical companies do. Monsanto, some of you may have heard of Monsanto. You know what they do to farmers, and what they do to species of seeds and things like that.
Would you use it in some circumstances?
You would use it in some circumstances, but I'm loath to use it in some circumstances if there is a safer alternative. Boric acid is one of the best, most versatile, naturally occurring products that can be modified into a matrix which is appropriate for different types of ant species in most cases, but you've got to know what you're going to get. So many of the modern liquid and granular baits satisfy all those criteria. If you want to go further, you go to an informed Google search, you type in whatever the active ingredient is or the trade name is, and then followed by the word toxicity. You can also go in and also do the same and use the words breakdown or degradation pathway. And then you've got to decide, okay, is the site that I'm in corrupted? Is it sponsored by corporates? Or there are even some government agencies that are infiltrated by corporates and they advise them and don't give them a story. So basically, I've got to stop now. quickly to that. That is a thing that I threw together very quickly. It's over there, it's on the thumb drive. If people email me, I'm happy to just email stuff out free of charge. I'm really busy at the moment. My ant expert here, that's just over, he'll be on board soon. We're looking at having a longer workshop on ant management in the metro. We've run one in Nana recently just for Argentine ants. So if you contact the Permaculture network, if there's enough demand, we can do something down the line. But basically, you've got to think about it. You've got ants, yes, no. If you don't have them, do nothing. If yes, perceived problem. Yeah, and I say perceived because some people, they freak out. Some people have got phobias, and it's a personal thing. They don't really have a problem. If they wait, it'll go away. Or maybe just a certain cycle that's occurring, which is quite natural. But knowing the species you've got to identify the ants. And then if you're happy to have them there and you think they're not doing much damage and you don't want to go overreact, do nothing again. If you wait, it could be a seasonal or a temporary problem. Still a problem? Yes, take action. If you take action, best preferences are modify the environment. That's a cultural approach where you might change it. If it's too wet, you've got Argentine ants, dry things out. Remove a food source. Or if it's too dry and the ants are a problem, you might want to wet things down and they'll move on. Remove, modify nesting harbourage areas. If that's not successful, then you might go to target-specific control. You can go to natural products. Boiling water with eucalyptus oil poured over the odorous ants will usually, they're smart, they suss out whether they're being hassled continually. They might well move on. You can get a mop or a sponge with detergent and citronella oil. You just wipe your benches down and you wipe away their trails, their pheromone trails, and they soon learn this is not a friendly area. And some of them will go somewhere else, some won't. Talc, messy, but sometimes it works. Natural oil detergent. Cement dust mixed in sand for the coastal brown ants. Sometimes it works. 1 part cement dust, 2 parts orange sand. You sprinkle it around with paving and sweep it in. When the ants come to move it, they've got a bit of moisture in their jaws. It's a bit cruel. If you're a member of Peter, you wouldn't do that. But it does work. Ants don't display the same emotional traits that humans do, so you might feel okay with that. Then you can go to the low hazard target specific baits, and therein lies another world. But you've got Andro, commercial product, the most effective thing for coastal brown ants. But you've got to be careful how you use it. It breaks down fairly quickly into the environment. The active ingredient is hydromethanol, not super toxic, doesn't hang around for years and years and years. You've got for the really, really hard to deal with ones, so I was talking about the white-footed ants, Technomyrmex. This is a specific commercial bait designed just for them. And I've got a couple of clients, I've already given them 2 complete bottles of this. They've just been taught how to feed it up. Which one? The white-footed house ants, the ones that don't move food through the system and produce the sterile eggs. But this is called Antmaster liquid bait. It's made by Bayer, they do make some products that can be used safely. Yep. Sorry, who's talking next? You? Yeah. Sorry.
Do you repeat the name of that one, David? That particular, the white-footed ant poison?
It's called Antmaster liquid ant bait. Yeah. And it's got the same active ingredient as another Bayer liquid ant product called Maxwell's Poison. But the concentration, it's 0.05 grams per litre, whereas the concentration of this is 0.3. So it's this is 6 times more concentrate. This sort of thing is great for if you are using a bait. You use it in a sealed container, something like this as well. Things with hot knife, melted little holes in here, and you put it in here, put a lid on it, doesn't evaporate. You've got to check them. That's no good for this because they suss it out. So you've got to work out what you're dealing with, how they operate, try all the non-chemical methods first, and then if you have to, go to something else. There's borax, commercial borax ant baits, boric acid, which is more palatable than borax, but harder to get. And there's even an illegally imported granular thing available from the Chinese supermarket down in Fremantle. They sell it under the counter. But it's as good as Andro in small situation. But you don't scatter it everywhere willy-nilly if you can do it. You use it in food stations. Don't let your chooks get it because it's got lecithin or soy oil in it. And there's very few other ants that will take, but birds that will take it. But the best way is to bait using things like this and andro at the end of the day when birds are roosting and chickens are in their coop. Okay, take a card if you like. Thanks very much. Good turnout. Sorry I had to rush. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.